What's up, guys? We're live, baby. Boom. Back in the Bahamas, fresh in the Island Life shirt right here. Um, Man, we got UFC 248 coming up. It's gonna be great. Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero. Um, we'll get right to the main event to start. If you guys have any questions, you can leave them in the section over here below. I'll get to all the questions. I believe I have some Twitter questions as well. We'll get to those at the end. I'm not going to talk too deep into the prelims, but the main event, the co-main event, can't wait for this. It's going to be awesome, man. Let's not forget we haven't seen this a lot of times where a fighter is coming off of a couple losses and then they're getting a title fight. So this is a rare scenario. We don't see this a lot. I know a lot of people had negative thoughts on that, which if I want to talk about that in itself, I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like it kind of takes away from the legitimacy of working your way up to a title fight. In the bantamweight division, we're seeing this. People are getting skipped over for Jose Aldo. I got another situation where a guy's coming off a loss, although I thought he beat Marias, but barely. It's not like it was a robbery. And then you got this situation with Yoel Romero, who has had controversial losses, and he's coming off a loss, but he's getting a title fight nonetheless as well. It's just a rare thing that I think takes away from that whole sport rankings legitimacy thing, where you're obviously the next guy and you've won 4 fights in a row and you've worked your way up and you're the number one contender and you get your title shot. That's how it should work, but we don't always see that's not the case. So it's unfortunate, but here we are. It's still an exciting fight. It's still a very highly anticipated fight. It's still a very competitive fight. We know Yoel Romero has been known to be a guy that, Whitaker's went on saying, man, when I hit this guy, it like hurts. Like this guy's made of something else. Obviously, he has that Olympic level wrestling that he can fall back on, but we haven't seen him show that a lot in these fights. He beat Chris Weidman with that flying knee. He beat Luke Rockhold with that 1-1-2 right hand down the middle. He's shown that he likes to go to his boxing. Got a little something weird over there in my coffee. Don't mind that. We got the Boomachino here, crack-a-lacking like always, baby. It's delish. It's delish, except for when that stevia kicks up to the top and you're like, what the hell's going on here? But anyways, never mind that. Interrupting my swag and shit. You know what I was talking about. Yoel Romero, the ultimate back flipper in Dana's face. We saw that was hilarious. His foot almost hit him. They had the dance off in the pre-fight press conference. That was funny. But yeah, talking about the fight, like Yoel, if he's smart, he's going to use that wrestling. He's going to set up those takedowns, and I think he should do it early. Israel Adesanya is a guy who gets in his rhythm, who finds his range, and it's over. He's gonna find something. He's gonna land something. We've seen this awkward style of striking. He landed like a fading angled hook on Whitaker that put him out. Perfect placement on the chin. I rewatched that recently, and it was just one of those punches that, like, you don't teach that punch. Like, you don't teach someone how to lean back and throw a hook like that across. Usually they teach you to throw a hook like this, like high elbow, shoulder tuck, chin tuck down. It's just like there's no rule of thumb how to strike, but this guy is so highly technical. He's come from the kickboxing background. He's done really well there. And the way that he beat Robert Whitaker, just pieced him up easy. Second round KO. Yoel went 12 rounds with the guy, or 10 rounds with him, or whatever, and then Israel finished him in 2 rounds. I mean, that MMA math doesn't add up, but to Israel, it's like, look, I was able to do that like this, and you couldn't do that in 10. So, I'm a couple steps ahead of you. I feel like that doesn't necessarily mean that, but in his head, he believes that. So, belief is powerful. We'll see what happens. But, I believe in this fight. Yoel Romero has a good chance. If he can mix up those takedowns and try to threaten him there and get him off guard a little bit and land a power shot or two early on, he could hurt Israel. I just feel like Israel is going to have that superior striking. His movement is amazing. His footwork. You know, a lot of people talk about feints from the city kickboxing team. Their feints are on another level, and they're just very, crafty individuals. Like my man Alex Aries says, he's right. Crafty is a good word. Israel's a crafty dude, for sure. He's very cerebral in there. He's calculated, and I won't say that Yoel Romero isn't either. I've seen some Yoel fights where he lures guys into believing he's tired or believing he's getting lazy, and then all of a sudden he explodes on you. He likes to kind of draw you in, have his back against the cage. He wing blocks a lot like this, and head rolls and slips and ducks. And then he comes back with some power shots. Yoel Romero, let's not forget, a very experienced individual. The guy's been in many title fights. He's been in main events. He's an older guy. He's seasoned veteran, and he understands the game. I see it when he's in there. He understands exactly what he's doing. He's kind of baiting you. He plays a psychological game. He makes you think he's tired. He makes you think he's weakened. He makes you think that, oh, it's time to go in and finish him now. He's fading. He's back against the cage. He's looking for a way out, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's in your face with a 4-punch combination, or he's blitzing forward really hard, or he's shooting a really explosive takedown. You got to watch out for stuff like that with Yoel. And I think that Israel's smart enough to understand that that's what he's doing. So I don't think that he's going to fall for that game, but I'm very interested to see how that plays out because Yoel knows how to slow a fight down. Yes, Yoel's older, but he knows how to slow a fight down and fight to his pace. He doesn't have to play that high volume game. He knows how to keep it a little bit slower, a little bit more in his realm. He can make you come to him. He can kind of take breaks a little bit when he wants in the fight. That's a smart fighter right there. You don't see everyone very aware with that kind of game where they know how to make sure a fight slows down to their pace and what they like to fight at. Because if you're comfortable in there, that says a lot. But if I have to make a pick in this fight, I'm going to go Israel. I do, in my heart of hearts, I think the fight's going to go decision. I think it's going to go 5 rounds. I don't think Israel's going to finish Yoel. We haven't seen many guys finish Yoel. That last fight with Paulo Costa was bing, bang, bada, fucking boom. There's a lot of heavy shots thrown in that fight, and nobody went down really. And, Yoel's got a chin. He knows how to deflect shots. He knows how to kind of wing block and let shots kind of like bounce off of him without really connecting solid. But if there is a guy that can connect solid, Israel's the guy. I just don't see it. I think Yoel's going to use some wrestling in this fight. I saw on the pre-fight what's that show that they do, the breakdown show. I forget what it's called, but they showed Yoel he's drilling a lot of takedowns with the bands on for explosiveness. So I do think we're going to see Yoel use some wrestling. I really do. And if he does, it's going to bring him some success in a fight. But we haven't seen, Izzy shown too much of a weakness. He's grown every single fight, especially with the scrambling and the wrestling and even throwing up submissions off his back and stuff like that. He's dangerous. He likes the guillotine chokes, even the guillotine rear naked choke style where you go under and you wrap around like this. He threw up a triangle in his last fight. His fight against before the last fight against what's his name? I'm fucking drawing a blank here. I can't believe it. Lefty, short, stocky. How could I forget? Not Whitaker, the guy before him. Can't believe it. It was an epic fight. But it'll come back to me. Don't worry about it. But yeah, he's throwing up a triangle in that fight. He's shown very good evolution in his game each fight out. A lot of talks. Oh, can he defend a takedown? Can he deal with the bigger guy, stronger guy, blah, blah, blah. He's proved to show that he could deal with it all, and especially the pressure. He does amazing under pressure. So, I'm going to have to pick Israel by decision, although I do think he can get a finish. But if he does, Kelvin Gastelum, there it was. Yeah, in the Gastelum fight. Thank you. That's what you guys are here for. Boom, baby. I think if Israel gets a finish in this fight, it'll be in the 4th or 5th round. It'll be later on in the fight. but I see it going decision, 5 rounds. I think Israel will get either 4-1 or 3-2, something like that. Might even see some kind of controversy where it's very close and they go with the champion, something like that. I could see that happening as well. But yeah, got to go Israel Adesanya by decision. That's my pick. Moving down to the co-main event. Joanna's back. Joanna, ex-champion, Jędrzejczyk versus Zhang Weili. I got a lot of confidence in Zhang Weili, man. The way she came out and just put it on Andrade in that fight was so impressive because we've known Andrade to be this power puncher for the women's division, brute strength, picks up girls and slams them. And Weili just came in and broke her, just got in her face, put it on her with power we have not seen, in the women's division like that, and just zero respect, just right in her face, putting it on her with no issues. That was just really impressive. And Joanna's had some ups and downs, since that Rose loss. I feel like she kind of changed a little bit. Her mentality changed. We didn't see the same brash, confident Joanna that we've seen in the past. And I still don't think we see her. I do think we see a more reinvigorated Joanna. She seems to be confident. She seems to be happy with her life. And I think that says a lot. I think going into this fight, Joanna comes in with a lot of skills. Her Muay Thai kickboxing is very sharp. She throws a very high output, probably more than anybody in the women's division, I'd say, as far as just volume goes. She's constantly throwing combinations. Pop, 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 kick, pop, 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 punch, pop, 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 elbow. She's really good in the clinch with digging underhooks and elbows. But let's be honest, I feel Rose showed that she was stronger than Joanna in that fight in the grappling exchanges. In the second fight. And I feel like Weili Zhang has some crazy strength that is going to shock Joanna, because just the way she rolled over Andrade was like, whoa, because Andrade is such a strong girl. I couldn't believe it. Like, she just made her look like, she just made her fold, And I feel like if Weili Zhang comes out and shows Joanna no respect just like that, it's going to be a problem for Joanna. Joanna likes to develop a rhythm. She comes alive as the fight goes on. She gets better and better as the rounds go on. Weili Zhang just comes out, blast off. Look at that vascularity. What's going on here? We're back on the fucking creatine, huh? Chill. But anyways, stop looking at your forearms, all right? Gluttony. Weili Zhang's going to come out hard, I think. I think first round, she's going to be in her face, pretty fast pace. I think she's going to kind of show no respect towards Joanna, and she's going to land something big, and it's going to fluster Joanna and throw her off. And right then and there, it's going to break or any kind of rhythm that Joanna could get in, and she needs that. That's her style. She likes a rhythm fight. She likes to kind of escalate slowly as the fight goes on, gets better and better. Round 3, round 4, she starts coming alive even more, landing more kicks, finding her range. I don't think Weili Zhang's going to give her the opportunity to do that. I could see another quick finish from Weili Zhang. I'm gonna go ahead and say first or second round, I think Weili Zhang's going to take her out. I think it's going to be a TKO. That's what I'm seeing right now. Moving down the card, because let's be honest, those are the two really big fights on this card. Those are the ones that are highly anticipated, that everyone's really excited for. But we got Beneil Dariush versus Drakkar Klose. I'm excited for that fight because those are two really good guys in the lightweight division. Beneil Dariush has been finished, though. He's been knocked out a couple of times. Drakkar Klose shows no mercy in his fights. I feel like he gets better and better as the fight goes on as well. But Beneil Dariush is a really high-level black belt, and I give him the edge in the grappling. I give the striking edge slightly to Drakkar Klose. But, that fight's a pretty even fight. I think Dariush has, more experience with higher level competition in the UFC. But Drakkar Klose has not been finished and taken as much damage as much as Beneil has. I don't know what the odds are in this fight, but I would say Beneil is probably slight favorite. I'm going to go ahead and go with Beneil Dariush. I think he's going to be able to maybe catch a submission in this fight if the grappling gets, entangled with Drakkar Klose. But speaking of that, check this. I don't know. How could I go with Beneil when I'm rocking this shit in the fucking cabinets, I don't know, man. Maybe we got to switch the pick. I'm going with Drakkar. Fuck it. We're going the other way because we got that shit. We're representing Drakkar all day. I'm going to go with Drakkar close by decision just because of that. You know, sometimes you got to have fun with these things. Anyways, we got Neil Magny versus Li Jingliang. I'll be honest with you guys. I've been so impressed with Li Jingliang. That guy is a monster from China. And when he fights in China, I can't see the guy losing. And in this fight with Neil Magny, we've seen Neil Magny. He's like a gazelle in there. He's in and out. He's long. He's rangy, but he just doesn't pack that power. And especially when the fights go to the ground, he kind of seems lost. You know, guys pass and go to side control, and he's kind of just flailing there, and he's doesn't really know how to get out or utilize submissions or scrambling games. So I don't think Li Jingliang is the type of guy to be wrestling. I think it's going to be a stand-up fight, and I think that you know, his length can play a role. Neil Magny's length and range could play a factor in this fight. He could outpoint him from the outside if he really wants to do that. But I don't think Li Jingliang's going to let that be. I think he's going to get inside. He's going to land power shots. He's a scrappy fighter who's not afraid to take risks. And I got to go with Li Jingliang. He's the younger guy. You know, he does have less experience, but he's not afraid to get in there and get after it. And I feel like sometimes Neil Magny's a little hesitant to get in that exchange. He likes to stay on the outside and flick that jab out and kind of keep you at bay. But I think Li Jingliang's going to get inside and land something powerful, probably hurt Neil Magny and finish him off with a TKO. That's what I'm going with. Li Jingliang, TKO. Alex Oliveira, Max Griffin. That's another good fight, man. Max Griffin's really impressed me, especially with his durability. I believe he beat Mike Perry. Alex Oliveira has had his ups and downs too. He's had some really exciting fights, and he's shown some potential, but he's also taken some bad losses. You know, I think he lost to Yancy Medeiros. That was a really exciting fight. Max Griffin's had some controversial fights where we thought, you know, he could have lost, could have won. It went that way, went this way, you know, but he's had really exciting fights in the UFC. You know, every fight he's been out has had some excitement to it. He's got a well-rounded game. He's good at grappling. He's good at striking. He can mix it up well. Alex Oliveira, the same goes for him. He's good at striking. He's good at submissions. I would give the submission edge to Alex Oliveira. I think he hunts more for submissions, you know, but Max Griffin, I'd give more of a well-rounded game altogether, you know, able to defend takedowns, to get takedowns, to land more powerful strikes on the feet. One thing he does is he get his back against the cage. He gets stuck there sometimes. I feel like he needs to be more urgent there, get off the cage, be more aggressive there, keep the fight standing against Alex Oliveira. I don't think you want to deal with the submissions there. I'm going to go with Max Griffin by decision. I think he's a little bit more active. I think he'll land a little bit more of the better shots, a little more significant shots, and he'll come away with a decision. Derek Brunson, Edmen Shahbazyan. This is another fight. Edmen Shahbazyan is one of those prospects that is clear-cut title contender coming up. He's so young. He wants to be the youngest champion in the middleweight division. I think he has the potential to do so, or even in the UFC, right? I forget. He's like 23 or 24, this guy. It's unbelievable. The way he knocked out Tavares in that last fight, I was there at MSG, was just a thing of beauty, man. His technique is amazing. That kick came out of nowhere. I don't even think Tavares saw it. You know, he really disguised it well. And he's confident, you know, he's young and confident. That's a big thing. You know, when you think you're invisible, you really go in there and believe you're invincible. It's something that, you know, not everybody has. You know, people have dealt with losses. They know what it's like to feel that, and that affects them in fights. But this guy, he doesn't know what it's like to lose. Sometimes that could be to your power, to your positive. Sometimes that could be to your negative. You know, if it happens, if you lose, it could really fuck your head up because you don't believe it could happen, and it's detrimental to you and your psyche. So, but in this fight, man, I think this is the first fight we're really going to see Shahbazyan tested in the grappling realm of things. Although Brunson gets caught up in these striking exchanges. He gets caught up in this stand-up realm, and he kind of forgets about his wrestling sometimes, and he gets a little sloppy, leaves his chin up. And I think, you know, if he does that against a guy like Shahbazyan with the dangerous striking, he could be at a very bad disadvantage in the striking game. I think Brunson should really employ that wrestling, should really do that early, get in his face, cut off that range, smush the fight. You know, you don't want to leave a guy out here that has very good confident striking. You want to get in his face and make it dirty, get in the clinch, dirty boxing, takedowns, push him against the cage, threaten the legs, anything you could do to close in that range and take away Shabazian's striking. You got to do it if I'm Derek Brunson. But I, you know, I think Shabazian is going to get another knockout in this fight. I think he's going to get another highlight reel, probably a performance of the night bonus, and probably move his way closer to that title in this fight. I'm going to go with Shabazian by either first or second round TKO KO. That guy's amazing. That's the main card. We'll go down now. We'll make some quicker picks for the prelims. Not too many great fights, but Sugar Sean O'Malley's back against pretty much a layup, Jose Quinones. Although O'Malley's been out for a while, he says he's made leaps and bounds in the gym. He's gotten a lot better. It looks like he's put on some size, changed up his diet. He has a lot of hype behind him, so he really has to come back and make a statement in this fight. He dealt with his USADA things. You got to feel for the guy if it is tainted supplement and then something pulsing bullshit. And, he's out for a while in the prime of his career when he's young and he's able to, utilize that hype that he has. Now he's finally back. Hopefully he gets to fight. Things go through. I could see Sean O'Malley piecing this guy apart and really, putting on a striking display against this guy, Quinones, because Quinones is going to be at a big reach disadvantage, a big striking disadvantage. He's going to want to make the fight dirty, get inside, and really utilize the clinch and the takedowns and try to expose O'Malley on the ground. But O'Malley says he's been getting a lot better on the ground in jiu-jitsu with his time off. I believe that. He's surrounded by good guys, world champions. So I believe he's made improvements, and I don't believe he's the type of guy to shy away from the lights and the pressure. I don't think he's going to feel any kind of ring rust. Some guys feel that, some guys don't. I don't feel he's the type of guy to feel it. We'll see, though, come fight night what he looks like in the first round. But I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley. I think, Quinones can potentially withstand some of the striking early on. I think as the fight goes, O'Malley will probably take over on the feet and either TKO or win a decision just by outpointing him on the feet with strikes. Mark Madsen, Austin Hubbard. Don't know much about these guys, so I'm going to make a quick Austin Hubbard pick by decision. Rodolfo Vieira, Saparabek Safarov. I'm going to go with Rodolfo Vieira. These guys have a little bit less experience, but Rodolfo Vieira is undefeated, so I'm going to go with him by TKO late. Gerard Mearshart versus Deron Winn. I've been very impressed with Deron Winn, man. For a short guy, stocky guy with barely any reach at middleweight, he's fighting a very experienced guy in Gerald Mearshart. Hard to say that fucking name when you say Gerald Mearshart. Let's just stick with fucking Gerald, right? Stop with the Gerald shit. Gerald Mearshart. I could see the experienced veteran, becoming a problem in this fight with Deron Winn, but Deron Winn has shown like no respect to his opponents, gets in their face, has, really good power shots, really good hooks. His cardio holds up. His wrestling is a thing of beauty as well. He's very good at mixing both of those up, but Gerald Mearshart is a better submission guy. I believe he's a black belt. I believe he trains under Duke Rufus. So he's very well trained and he's very well experienced. And that could be a factor in this fight. But with the wrestling of Deron Winn, I don't see Gerald Mearshart being able to take that fight down where he might want it in a very good advantageous position to get a submission. So I think Deron Winn will be able to avoid that aspect of the game. And he's shown that in the striking realm. He's dangerous, man. He throws power. He gets in there like Mike Tyson throwing big hooks. He closes the distance, which is what he's going to have to do against a way taller, way more rangier Gerald Mearshart. So I could see Deron Winn coming out with, some kind of TKO win if he gets those power shots off against the cage. He likes to back guys up, get inside and land those. So I could see that happening, or I could see him winning a decision just because of landing the more flashy, significant shots, because he does let go more than Gerald has shown. Gerald's more of a tactician, more of a technical striker, keeping you at bay, landing a little bit more with the jab cross, a little bit more technical striking, but Deron Winn is the power fighter. He's throwing hooks from his hips, trying to throw power into those shots where you hear them, those thumps land hard. So I'm going to go with Deron Winn. I think he'll get it done decision, though. It's going to be a tough test, though. He's going to face adversity in this fight. If it goes to the ground, too, it's going to be dangerous submission-wise. Emily Whitmire, these are the early prelims, versus Polyana Viana. I'm going to go with Polyana Viana by decision. I think she's just fought the tougher competition. She has more experience as well, 10-4. Emily Whitmire, 4-3. Although she likes that greenery, so I'm backing her, but I think Polyana Viana is gonna get it done. Movsar Evelev versus Jamal Emmers. I'm gonna go with Jamal Emmers by TKO. And then we got Dana Badgerel versus Guido Canetti. I think Guido Canetti trains at a Team Alpha Male. I'm not sure, but I think both of these guys are kind of. I think one guy's a new guy, Dana Becciarelli, and Guido Canetti is more of a veteran. I think he's got his back against the wall. He might be coming off a couple losses, right? So if he loses this one, you got to imagine his job's on the line. So with that said, because I know what it's like when your job's on the line, I'm gonna go with Guido Canetti just because he's got the cooler name here and the easier name to pronounce. Got to be honest, right? So Guido, it is by decision. Bantamweight division. All right, let's get to these questions. In the chat, we got, hey, Boom, thanks for the stream, bro. Do you think Yoel will be able to ragdoll Izzy? Nah. This is by Chewbacca on drugs, 11:30. All right. Nah, I don't think he'll be able to ragdoll Izzy. We haven't seen anybody do that. I think he will be able to get a takedown or two. I think he will cause problems there, but I don't know if he will push for the wrestling as much as we would like him to. If he does, I think he'll have some success there. I think Izzy will be able to scramble a little bit. I think he'll make him pay for it a little. But I would like to see, Yoel on top of Izzy causing some ground and pound and see how he deals with it. Alex Aries, I think Israel's too crafty and technical. Sound for Yoel. Yeah, could be. I think so too. Definitely more crafty, more technical, especially on the feet. Neil, the security. Yo, what's up? Boom, what's up? I got Izzy by Dave Stevenson. I got Izzy by decision, depending on Romero's gas tank. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we got to go gas tank versus gas tank, I go Israel, especially after that Gastelum fight. But Romero, like I said earlier, he's great at keeping the fight at his pace. He's great at kind of luring you into a slower pace. And I think Israel's going to be skeptical of like chasing him back to the cage when he does stuff like that. So it gives him time to rest, which if he needs it, that's going to be, in his favor. Zhang is going to Rec Shop. That's Neil the security. Yeah, I picked Zhang for sure. What's up, Brian? Isaiah Villa here. What's up, Brian? Whaley is a big fan of Tony Ferguson. Her style is kind of similar with the elbows, championship. Yeah, I wouldn't compare her to Tony Ferguson. It's a bit different. She's a little bit more, conventional. Yeah, Tony Ferguson's a guy that'll throw a spinning elbow one way, a spinning elbow another way, and then some kind of cartwheel kick, right after. So I don't see the similarities there, but I'm going with Whaley. Chewbacca on drugs. I think if Whaley catches Joanna, she's just gonna unload a machine gun on Joanna's face. I can only see Joanna winning a decision. I agree with that. That's very well said. I'm with you on that. Alex Aries says Zhang steamrolls Joanna. I agree. Dave Stevenson, Dariush by decision. Yeah, I mean, you saw why I said Jakar, right? So I mean, I can see Dariush coming out with the decision too, though, to be honest. This bout has been rescheduled. Oh, which bout? I don't know what you're talking about. Shabazian finishes Brunson. Yes, I agree. Cooper 21 Bravo, looks like there's more room for you at the top now. We need to see you fight for the belts. Hey, I'm with you, baby. Boom, let's go. Let's get that next opponent. I want to fight April 18th in Brooklyn. Chewbacca on drugs, 11:30. Do you think the fact that Yoel can't really move his neck from side to side and Izzy uses a lot of angles is going to make a difference? That's a good observation, but I don't think that's a problem. I think Yoel's good at keeping you in front of him. I mean, obviously he has peripheral vision. He can kind of see you. He can turn a little bit like this, turn a little bit like that. I mean, maybe his neck's stiff, but it's not like he can't see you if you're over here or over here. He knows how to turn his body, face you. He's good at that. But yeah, I think the angles of Izzy is going to be a problem for sure. Not because of that, though. Let's get to some Twitter questions. What would a boom breakdown be without a fucking sniffle, right? Deviated septum problem. Sometimes I go like this. Get a clearer breathe. See that? Now watch this. Unbelievable. If I could have someone just hold my nose whole day right here. It is Be High on Twitter. At GD6ILLY. Is Borrachinha next after Stylebender wins? Yeah, I think if he wins, definitely. We're gonna see Paulo Costa next. They've been back and forth. That fight has a lot of hype behind it too to be seen. So for sure. At Kieran Singh Hurl. Can Adesanya stop Romero early, considering Romero usually takes rounds off in 5 rounders? Also, considering Romero is so careful with his cardio, will wrestling be a factor? I think Adesanya can stop him early, but I don't see it happening. I just think Romero is too smart, too durable, and like you said, he knows how to utilize his gas tank the way he needs. And I do think what wrestling will be a factor. I think Romero this is his chance to get it done. He's had other title fights where he's failed. He's come up short barely. This is his chance to get it done. I think if he's got to be smart, he's got to implement the wrestling and try to at least threaten that in this fight. And I think he will, and I think he'll get a couple takedowns, and I'm curious to see what happens there. Who you got in the main and the co-main? We went over that. I got Izzy and I got Weili Zhang. Pablo III at Harlem X Peng. What do you think Israel has to do to neutralize Yoel's wrestling and power? Cut angles, feints, utilize his range, his length, try to land that jab over and over, land some straight right hands, utilize his kicks, just be aware of the takedowns and keep his range, and utilize his feints and angles. I think that's what he does to everybody. At Fan Carlos, who should Adesanya's next opponent be if he gets past Romero? We said that, Paulo Costa. At Armand Eunice, your predictions for co-main and main event. We went over that. Bada bing, bada fucking boom. And that's it for Twitter. So that's it, baby. I think we're good to go. What do we got here? Any more here? That's it, guys. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna try to stay more consistent with this. I know I say that every time because I stick to the big cards, but because obviously people want to hear more about those. That's why I stick more to the highlighted fights, the main event, the main card, and then I make quicker picks. But I'm appreciative of you guys tuning in. If you guys give a thumbs up, that really helps on the video. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Brian Boom 135. Put a lot of content out on there. A lot of training stuff coming out. Shout out to my sponsors. We got the Turp House right here with my CBD. Boom, baby. Sanibel. I just inked a deal with Sanibel. I was going to be my gear sponsor, sending me my gears coming in the mail. They got the tie-dye funk style. Can't wait to rep those. Shout out to Island Life here, repping Long Island where I'm from. Shout out to MHP, my supplement sponsor. The Float place in Patchogue. Vita Cryotherapy, keeping me ready, keeping my inflammation down and my body feeling healthy. I love you guys. Boom.